If you're trying to grow out gray roots or your natural hair, wigs might seem like a perfect option. They look cute, you don't have to put in any effort to really styling once it's on, and they just hide whatever is going on up here. Sounds perfect, right? Wrong. At least for me. They've never worked for me, and here are my 5 reasons why. If you're new to my videos, I actually have premature gray hair and I spent about 2 years growing it out, so that's why I'm talking about this topic. And I just want to say a quick disclaimer that I know wigs are super important for some people, if you're going through cancer, alopecia, hair loss, doing protective styles. I get it, that they're definitely needed, but this is why I'm not using them. Okay, reason number 1 why wigs just haven't worked for me is the fit. Now, I took this wig as a perfect example. It is so tight, and it's my fault because I realized in buying multiple wigs that my head is above average in size. I have a big head. I have a big forehead. I have nothing ever fits my head. Sunglasses are always too tight right here. Hats, I usually try to buy men's sizes. It's a problem. So, it's too much effort for me. Like, there's my little wig cap, and I'm just gonna say it, I didn't try to install these really great when you're seeing the ones coming up next to, because it's a YouTube video. I'm not gonna put that much effort into making sure the wig looks perfect while it's on. But this one, it's just like, what if the wind blows? There's my real hair. And another problem with this one is, like, I can't color match it. I guess I could try to, like, put shadow there and make my hair look darker so it looks like I have roots. But this one is just, like, way too small for me. It feels too tight on my head. And, like, look at the hairline. It's, like, 1 second away from exposing me. And it just has this weird, like, little flip-up thing that it does. And I don't know how you guys do it with these flyaways, but, like, I'm already so annoyed that I have pieces that are just, like, tickling my forehead. They're tickling my forehead. It's so itchy right now. And it's so itchy, and I've been wearing it for 2 minutes. Like, I just wanna, Okay. In theory, I think this wig could have been cute. It could look cute from afar. I think it could look cute on Instagram. I feel like a lot of people on Instagram get away with wearing wigs, or they did in the past. I think a few years ago they were very popular, just to, like, change up your look all the time by face tuning this section right here so it looks like it's a natural hairline. But, like, this wig it doesn't pass as my own hair at all, and it's just way too tight. So that's one reason why I just haven't worn wigs, because everything I've bought has been too small for my big old head, and it's unfortunate. Okay, reason number 2 why wigs haven't worked for me is because they are so high maintenance. This one, it doesn't even look good, and you don't even understand how much I brushed it before coming on camera. It tangles so easily. And I will say this is synthetic, so it's not like it's the highest quality wig you could own, but it is from a very popular hair extension brand. You can take a note by the brush. And it just does not. I mean, it's impossible to get this to look good. I think this could maybe only look good in pictures. And I don't even think it looks good on me. I just feel like if I was ever going to buy a wig again, I would buy one with bangs, because I just feel like they don't fit my head properly, and it just looks kind of weird. I don't know. This is just too much hair for me. I had this misconception that wigs would just make your life easier. Like, you would see people, I don't know, like, I feel like Kylie Jenner would just, like, change her look all the time, but she has people installing these wigs on her and making them look perfect. So people like us normal people who don't want to put in that much effort, it's hard to make it look good right out of the box. What I learned is that you need to pluck your part to make it look more natural, because most people don't have a part that is that thin. I have so much hair in my face. It's driving me insane. So you have to pluck the part. A lot of times you have to cut them. I've also seen videos on YouTube where people powder them because if they're synthetic, they have like this unnatural looking shine to them. So there's a lot of finessing that goes into making them actually look good. You have to like be very careful about like, still again, this just is too small for me and it just doesn't, like if the wind blew, it would look like just wouldn't look good. And this one you just have to brush it constantly. So I don't know, maybe I could like braid it, or I don't know what I would do. But it's just way too high maintenance for me. I mean, look at this. Focus, focus. Come on. Can you see the hair that's all in my face? And like, I mean, this doesn't even look like a natural hairline anyway. It's literally in my mouth now. Number 3, which this is the most upsetting one for me, is bad quality. And it's the most upsetting because this is actually the most expensive wig in my collection. This was probably about $250 to maybe like 300 Canadian at the time I bought it. And I had black hair. This was the second time I was trying to grow out my natural gray hair. So I had black hair at the time. I was like, you know what? What I've been doing wrong with these wigs is I've just been buying things that are just way too long and unmanageable. So let me buy something cute and short, and something that would actually look like it was maybe my natural hair. And I definitely liked this style. Like, I did have hair that was maybe to about here. I would do some nice little curls in it from time to time. But this wig is the worst quality. The hair feels like nothing like hair. It's got, which I didn't realize at the time, but this is the thing with wigs, they have this like permatease thing in it that makes it like look lifted, but it just makes my head look so big and round. It's like helmet hair, and it's like impossible to style it to make it look cute at all. And I feel like looking into my monitor thingy here, it doesn't look that bad on camera, but in real life it looks terrible. It's like a Halloween costume wig, which is so disappointing because, like I said, it was the most expensive one that I bought. And I went into it knowing that my head is large, and I actually got one that fits, and it actually feels pretty comfortable, which is amazing. But it does not look good at all. And I'll show you one more thing about it. One thing that I thought was really interesting, come on camera, okay, we're focused, is that it has this little thing here, which, you know, like all the wigs I showed earlier are lace wigs where, you know, you can change the part and kind of like make it blend in with your natural hair a bit. It has this little thing here that makes it look like your hair is actually growing out there, but it doesn't look real at all, and it just gets messy and like frizzy and weird. So it's just not good quality, and it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing, and that's the thing about buying wigs online. You got to go to a store and actually see them, because it's like something can look amazing. And I actually watched reviews on this wig. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to spend a lot of money on a wig anymore. I'm not going to take a risk. I'm going to see what it looks like on other people. And I thought it looked cute on the people who were reviewing it and wearing it. But on me, like, I could never go out in public wearing this because I just feel like it looks so fake. I just couldn't do it. Like, this will be reserved for like a Halloween costume or something, which is so sad. It's so upsetting. And you know what? It's kind of itchy too, so that's where we're at. Number 4. And if you're wondering, this is the first wig I ever purchased. It's also from Bellamy. It was also one that was incredibly long and always tangled. So I tried to cut it. That's why it looks really choppy. and I tried to cut bangs into it, but that didn't work out either. So I kind of like clipped them aside right now. But it's not a terrible wig. It's mostly my fault that it looks this bad, but I kind of just gave up on it. But number 4, what I wanted to say is sustainability. And I know that when we get into like ethics and sustainability talks, things get a little bit tricky because I don't ever want to come across like me saying, well, this isn't a sustainable thing to, be a part of. I don't want that to come across as I'm like holier than thou and I know better, because I don't. I definitely participate in things that probably aren't the most ethical or sustainable, but I think it's good if we're all kind of cognizant of the choices we make and like try to make smaller, better choices day by day. Like if you have a smartphone, where does that come from? Like I think we all know that Apple has had some very bad business practices. And like anything you buy in terms of clothing and whatnot, if it's not, like if it's fast fashion, it's probably doesn't come from the best place. And we all know that, and it's hard to look into every single thing you buy. So I'm not trying to put off a perfect image here, because I'm definitely not. But it is something that I started to think about with wigs. It's just like, I personally can't afford a human hair wig. They're very expensive if you want a good quality one. But then that brings up the ethical question of like, where is this hair being harvested from? Is it done in an ethical manner or not? I don't know. So I would probably rather avoid that anyway. But then we get to synthetic, and what I've learned about synthetic wigs recently is that it's basically just like little strands of plastic. I'll read you a little blurb here from an article I was reading earlier. So essentially, synthetic hair plays a rather sinister role. It's essentially composed of ultrafine strands of plastic and petrochemical-derived materials such as polyester, acrylic, and PVC, which are not biodegradable. This means that they ultimately end up in landfills and contribute to further our global waste problem. So, if you buy synthetic wigs, you probably have to throw them out on them. I mean, they don't last very long if you're like an everyday wearer. So I think a lot of people I've read actually replace their wigs like once 1 to 2 months time. Because if you're wearing it every day, and you saw the tangling problems with some of those other synthetic ones, it's really hard to maintain them and keep them in good condition, especially once you have to start washing them too. So, yeah, just another thing to end up at a landfill, I guess, which is unfortunate. And number 5 is insecurity. I just feel like the wigs don't look good on me. They don't lay properly on my forehead. They're just always too small. They don't look real. They don't look passable as my real hair. It looks like I'm wearing a wig. And for the purpose of growing out gray hair, I think what you want to do, unless you're going to totally embrace it and like not care that everybody knows you're wearing a wig, if you can get into that spirit, that's amazing. And then I think wigs would be perfect for you. But if you're going to try to get something that already looks similar to your hair color and passes as like your just normal hair, your regular style, it can be difficult. It can be difficult to get something that looks really good and looks really natural and believable. So that was my biggest problem with the wigs. It's just like, since the quality wasn't good, I feel like they just didn't look good. Didn't look like my own hair. Like you wouldn't believe if you saw me that this was my hair. And that just made me really insecure. Like if I wanted to have my roots, wanted to hide my roots going to work, then I would want something that looked similar to my hairstyle, and I couldn't find. I mean, you saw that black wig? It didn't look anything close to what my own hair looks like. So I was just too insecure to ever wear them. I think these are just kind of in the closet for maybe a fun time down the road, maybe a Halloween costume. And plus I spend my money on them, so I don't want to just throw them out. I think it's fun to like put it on and be like, hey, this is what I would look like as a blonde with like really long hair, but it just doesn't fit the forehead, and I'm just too insecure to wear it out. I've actually known a lot of women in my life who looked amazing in wigs, picked out a different wig every month, totally like reinvented their looks, and I have always envied that. I think that is so cool, especially if you've gone through the process of growing out your natural hair, or you're naturally gray now. Like, you did that for a reason. You did that because you wanted to ditch the dye. You don't want to go back to putting permanent dye in your hair, so it's like you're never gonna have a chance to have a different hair color again, unless you do like some kind of fun, colorful, semi-permanent thing. But you know, it can be, you might come to a point where you're like, oh, I'm kind of bored. I wish I could dye my hair. So I think wigs are a perfect option if you're in that boat. And I think they would be a great option for me too if I had the confidence to wear them or, you know, pull them off. I would love to have a few good wigs that were just amazing and I could just wear them out for a special event or something. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I'll invest again. I'd have to know where the hair was coming from if it was human hair. And for the synthetic, I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those things that I probably don't want to participate in anymore, but you know, never say never. I am just happy that I like myself nowadays and I like my own hair and I don't feel the need to dye my hair anymore. And yes, my hair is not thick and long like those other wigs, but it's my hair. And I really like that. I like that about myself now, that I can have my own natural hair and feel good about it. And this is so much easier, let's be honest. It just feels so good. Like, I can't imagine wearing a restrictive wig every day if I didn't have to, you know? For me, it's just a choice, because there's really nothing wrong with my hair at this point, except for that it's a little bit fine in comparison, but that's okay. It's always been fine. It's never been a very thick hair. Everyone has different hair types. It is what it is. But I'm just so happy that I'm past this process in my life, so now I don't have to worry about what my roots look like anymore. I've already gone through this, so if you're going through it, stick in there. You'll get to the end sooner than you think. And then you won't have to worry about your roots or dyeing your hair, unless you want to. Yeah, I'm very happy with the decision I made. And you know, sometimes my hair, I think it kind of looks like, you know, some people would want this color hair. I think it's been funny that a lot of younger people have wanted gray hair or like silver highlights, so it's definitely made it easier for me in terms of like being prematurely gray, because it's like, hey, maybe I'm just like some youthful, cool person who put in these silver highlights. Maybe. Who knows? You don't know. Gosh, it feels good to get that off my head. Whew. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave me any questions, comments you have below, or let me know any wig brands that have worked for you. Because I don't know, I'm not gonna say I'd never buy one again, but it just hasn't been a good time for me. Alright, thanks so much for watching. If you want to subscribe, please do that. That would make my day. And you can follow me on Instagram at, well, I'll leave it here somewhere. I want you to remember, don't just make up your face, make up your mind too, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.